This is Brian Wright, CEO of New Patient Group. Today we're going to discuss consumers in dentistry. As a company, New Patient Group believes consumers do not value dentistry and view dentistry as costly, elective, painful, and unnecessary. And this is proven by the stats that only 50% of the entire country even visits the dentist. And you open up a business that only half the people go to, you're already at a loss. And you have to be that much better to increase your business year to year, regardless of a good or bad economy. And we also believe that there are things that currently happen every single day inside the practice environment that reinforce these negative beliefs patients and consumers have of dentistry. And it's nothing that's being done intentionally. And frankly, a lot of times whenever we discuss the specific things with people, their response is, wow, I've never really thought about that before. But they almost always agree with them. And as we get into the program, we're going to discuss via training videos and a lot of other things, these specific things that are happening, whether it be in your practice or every other practice across the country on a daily basis, that really affect the way consumers value dentistry. It affects your treatment acceptance, your financial conversion. And that financial conversion word is not something that's currently tracked or used in the dental profession, but it's something that we use, and it will paint a completely different picture of your practice whenever we get to it. But it affects the financial conversion every single day in practices across the country. Whether you produce in the top 1% in the nation or the bottom 1%, it's affecting your practice, no doubt about it. And so how do you put value on dentistry? How do you get people to see it in a different way? Because people buy what they value. And it's really three things. They buy what they understand, number one. They buy what they value, number two. And number two doesn't happen unless they first understand it. So you have to accomplish number one and get them to understand what they're buying before they can value it. And then number three, they obviously have to be able to afford it. However, many times, and I'm sure at some point in your life, you've maybe convinced yourself to buy something that you probably shouldn't have, whether it was because you couldn't afford it or another reason. I think we've all been in that position at some point in our lives. But looking back on it, whatever that thing is, whether it's a vehicle, a flat screen TV, or something else, it is, you bought it because you understood it, and you bought it because you valued it. And therefore, you convinced yourself you could afford it, whether you could or not. So those first two things are key. And facts are, people do not value dentistry, and it holds back even the most successful practices from growing even more. Because what you have to remember is that patients coming into your practice every single day, they're consumers. They have consumer buying tendencies, and they are always pondering the thought of, should I buy what's being presented to me now? Or should I buy a flat screen TV? Or the vehicle that I saw yesterday at the dealership? Or should I take my family on a nice vacation? All of these thoughts are always going through your patients' minds because your patients, just as you are, they're consumers. They have buying tendencies or just tendencies, period, based on the biology of the brain. And the biology of the brain is another thing that is implemented into our program that you will learn throughout the program. And as you learn tendencies, buying tendencies, consumer methods based on the biology of the brain, as you learn them and you're taught to overcome them, your numbers skyrocket. And the beauty is it's whether it's a dental practice, an oil and gas company, Best Buy, a business is a business. And it's just you're selling something different inside your doors. So these methods apply to every type of business. We've just customized it specific to the dental profession. And our clients continue to grow at 30% a year. And it's an awesome thing to watch, because their practices transform, many times their lives transform as well. Their employees are better because of it, and the patient cares better, because here's other than the obvious why the patient cares better. And it's not to say that your patient care at your practice now is not great. It's got nothing to do with it. But the more patients that say yes to you and get the treatment that they need, the better the patient care. So your job as a practice is to find any way you can to convince patients they need the treatment. The treatment is not optional. Even though the American population and consumers as a whole view the treatment as optional, you and I know it's not. It's something that's going to better and improve their life. So the more things you can have inside your practice that get them to say yes to that treatment, the better patient care you will provide. So let's put value back into dentistry. Let's take that journey together, because the more consumers value dentistry, the better the dental reputation is going to be, and the more your practice is going to grow. Thanks for your time.